From high school dunk contests to college to the pros, Zion has been a freak of nature, and now he has cut some weight and has a chance to be better. Few players in NBA history have combined size, strength, and agility like Zion Williamson. Standing at 6'6", he moves like a guard but finishes like a power forward from another planet. Today we're breaking down what makes Zion so unstoppable. Zion is one of the best downhill attackers in the league, and that goes without saying. He knows how to use his body to create space to get to the basket in the first place. If you're going to give him this much of a runway to get to the basket, he will do what he wants. In this case, he displays his very good footwork, which is the most underrated part of his game, to spin off of Draymond to get the layup here. And he caught Draymond leaning and was able to take advantage of that body positioning to get that layup at the rim. And speaking of using your body, Zion gives him a good shoulder bump here to create space and get to the rim. This is not an offensive foul. This is just straight up a good move to get to the basket. And it's a physical game. You just got to deal with it if you're the defender here. What is something that I have mentioned in previous videos over and over again when I mention that somebody has supreme athleticism? It's scoring in transition. You need to start finding these guys in transition because this is how they make their easy money and cut to the basket, whether it's lobs, finishing themselves, etc. They will make their move and get easy points this way. You need to get back on defense off of these turnovers. Or start from square one. Just don't turn over the ball. That would help. I will say my favorite part of Zion's game is how active he is on the defensive end of the court. And typically, when you get somebody as dominant as they are on offense, you don't always get the same on defense. Now, when Zion does play, because obviously injuries are a thing, I think he has a chance to be one of the best two-way players in the game. Now, I have previously mentioned that I think Kawhi Leonard and Giannis Antetokounmpo are up there. He has a chance to catch up to them and even surpass them if he decides to keep giving in the effort to be able to be on the basketball court. Another thing that I love about his game is that he's very active on the offensive glass. And again, this is like an effort and hustle play to get easy buckets. And again, not everybody does these things. Everybody loves a hustle guy and an effort guy on their team. And he's supposed to be a star. Not all stars hustle like this. He is so much fun to watch because of how he creates highlights. He's a walking highlight reel, and we all know this. But he does it by taking advantage of open space, whether it's transition or cutting to the basket. And here we see him cutting to the basket as a double team is drawn by his teammate driving along the baseline. Another evolution to his game is the way he's able to put the ball on the floor to create baskets for himself. And this is not always how he has played, but over time has been able to create more and more shots for himself off the dribble. Here is another prime example of him scoring off the dribble, except we see it in a pick and roll scenario. And here he gets a switch, and I believe is Emmanuel quickly switching on to him, who is a guard, very undersized compared to Zion, and he gets right by him and attacks the help side defender, which was his original matchup. But he does not care. He decides to create contact himself, go into the chest of the defender. That's the best way to do it, the best way to make sure your shot does not get blocked, and he scores. There are two concepts I want to cover on this play that we're about to see. And one is that I think that Zion should be used as a point forward in this scenario a little bit more often and be used like Giannis at times. I think that would benefit the Pelicans offensively a lot and create pressure to a defense that isn't created when he's playing off the ball. Now, to look at this here, getting down the court, if this is how teams are going to play Zion, again, that is way too much space because A, he's getting better as a three-point shooter, but not only that, the bigger threat is him getting to the rim. I think he should be stopped further out and possibly a different matchup on him. I don't think Gafford stands a chance here, and then Zion takes him off the dribble with a full head of steam and gets the bucket at the rim. Once again, it pays to be super athletic in the league, and here his athleticism is used as a lob threat on the backside, and dribble penetration allows the defense to collapse away from him, creating space for that lob pass on the backside for a dunk. I love making fun of opposing defenses sometimes because there's two miscues back to back here. And please tell me why we're not getting back in transition. But even better, tell me how you're getting beat on a spin move in the post for a lob. Stay in front and make sure he's blocked off from the rim. I love hyping up Zion Williamson because honestly, outside of basketball, he is one of the best 2 foot jumpers I've ever seen. Here it's just one hop step off of a pick and roll scenario and gets the basket and dunks it somehow. And in case that wasn't enough to prove it, take a look at this and tell me you're not wowed by how he's moving. He should not be able to move like this. You know what the craziest part is, and even in the realization of everything that's happening with Zion, is that he did all of this at 280 pounds, roughly around that range. And you see it here in this picture, and I'm not even trying to do him dirty on this one. It's just the way it was. And everybody knows he was 6'6, 280, and one of the heaviest guys in the league. But I'm very impressed with the way he's created a whole new body for himself. And you see it here. I think he has even higher expectations this year than he has ever had. And the New Orleans Pelicans could really use some help and could really use a winning culture back into that city. At Zion's current size and athleticism, he has all the physical tools and even some of the best skill sets of the league to become an even more dominant force. But Zion isn't just a dunker. His footwork in tight spaces is underrated. From spin moves to hop steps to euro steps to scoring in transition at the rim, he's almost impossible to stop. And he was doing this at 280 pounds. And now, after dropping weight and probably being even more agile and light on his feet this year, I expect a lot more out of him. And also, he's become a little bit better of a playmaker as of late and over his career has averaged 4.3 assists per game. And this past season in 30 games was 5.3 assists per game. Not to mention his defensive versatility and active hands will do him justice in the future. Zion's journey is only getting started, and if you're someone like me, I am willing to see it through, unlike a lot of other people. That'll do it for this week's episode of Court Vision, a Life in the Stands production. Remember to go rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as interact with us on all socials, including X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and more. Be sure to check out Life in the Stands special guest episodes this week over on Moneyballers and Beehive Sports Report, including Neil Schwartz and former BYU and New Orleans Saints linebacker Cy Tautu. We will see you next time, and remember, the film never lies.